Joined today on the panel by Armando Herreros and Lisa Otar. I'm Stacy Malone, Sumaya Jamal, Roberto LaSalle, also goes by Ricky, Abid Khan, and Jean Sakay. So thank you all for being here with us today.
Let's start out by having the panelists introduce themselves a little bit more and tell us about what kind of exciting opportunities in paid internships they're up to. So I'm going to start by asking Armando to introduce himself. Tell us who you are and where you're going to be or you are interning.
Thank you, Sophia. First off, I'm so happy to be here today. My name is Armando Herreros. I am a quantitative economics major, also finance. And currently right now, I'm working part-time for a nonprofit called the Urban Assembly, where I'm the academics and data intern. I also have an internship lined up for next summer, 2021, at JP Morgan in their Global Finance and Business Management program, in which the Career Center helped by improving my resume. I've worked with Karen Johnson, who guided me through this process of how to create a solid, strong resume. I obtained my internship through networking and professional events in the Entrepreneurs Club, Alpha. And through that event, I connected with a professional who worked at JP Morgan, and she actually gave me a referral. She referred me to the position.
Thank you so much, Armando. It was so nice hearing all that, and I can't wait to hear more about your journey. The next question, I'm going to pass it to Lisa. If you would mind sharing who you are, where are you, and where you'll be interning.
Right, thank you. So I'm Lisa. I'm a junior in political science and urban studies. Right now, I'm a CUNY Cultural Core intern at Social Practice Queens, which is a master's program at Queens College. I've had 5 internships in college so far, and I found out about my current internship through an internship I did last year. I did the Service Corps before COVID, so we had a lot of events in person. And from that exposure, I learned about the CUNY Cultural Core.
Let's go to Stacy next. Stacy, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are and what your internship is?
Yes, so hi everyone, I am Stacy and I am a TESOL major at QC. And right now I am currently interning at East Elmhurst Community School as a student teacher. And I would say I also have had a previous intern as a casting intern, which is completely different, but that internship actually did kind of make me see that I wanted to go into teaching. So I could definitely talk more about that.
Thank you. And how did you find the internship that you have right now as a student teacher?
So through this internship, I received it through my linguistics department, and it definitely goes with getting to know like the linguistics department and getting to know the department that you're in and talking to the professors and just allowing them to kind of get to see what it is that your goals are, because a lot of times they'll help you out in finding what might fit for you.
We're going to pass it over to Sumaya. If you introduce yourself and tell us where you'll be interning.
Hey everyone, this is Sumaya Jamal. I graduated this last December 2020, and currently I'm at NYC Comptroller Office in Asset Management Bureau. So far, I had 3 internships and all through Queens College, because when I started through my advisor, he said that your second home will be your career center. And I listened to him very well. And from that day, like first week of my college, I started to going back and forth career center, and they are tremendously helpful. Eleanor, I work with Eleanor. She helped me a lot through my resume and all the like news is coming from like where internship is opening or not. And then I joined Alpha, then Ascent, and those are professional events are really helpful. You could get an internship. I can guarantee if you're like really good at networking, you could get an internship through them. So I had so far 3 internships, one from CUNY. My first internship was from CUNY Service Corps, I was there as a tax intern with a company named Riverfront. And then I work with it since my major is accounting. I work with a public accounting firm BDO as a corporate tax major. And then I feel like maybe I'm not tax person. I want to change my career. Then I applied through CUNY Simplicity. You can have your account there too. They have a lot of internship opening too. So through CUNY Simplicity, I applied through government job because I was like willing to go in government. So from there, I got the City Comptroller Office Asset Management Bureau. And I'm really liking that they're very like flexible with the hours and everything. And then yeah, so I would say go to career center all the time, and professional events. They are really helpful for getting an internship. You could boost up your career from there.
Thank you. I'm hearing a little bit of a theme emerge already and some of the advice that we're hearing from the panelists. Let's go to Ricky next. Could you tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're interning or will be interning?
Yeah. I know you see right there, my name is Roberto, but I go by Ricky. I always have. But right now, I have an unpaid internship. But I with the college's Department of External and Governmental Affairs, and they sort of work as like the lobbying wing of the college, so helping secure its funds, keep up relationships with the local politicians, the assembly people, council people, etc. But I'll be talking more about what I'm going to be doing over this summer, which is the PPIA, or Public Policy and International Affairs Fellowship. And that's going to be like a 1-month fellowship focusing on public policy. And if, depending on how things go, I might go to the University of Michigan, but it's probably going to end up being remote. But it's a fully funded program. They give you GRE prep. And then there's access to 50 schools in their consortium where you get application waivers. And I wouldn't have known anything about that program if it wasn't for my friend Maim Haq. I know him because I'm the president of the Queens College Speech and Debate Society. He was the president before me. He did the program. He kept pushing me, you got to do this, you got to do this. And he himself found out about a program from networking when he was in high school. So like, that's just something certainly you have to focus on, like building your relationships, and it's sort of like who and people with similar goals that'll help you and know these things and sort of how to get ahead, and especially when it comes to internships and things of that nature.
Okay, next we'll have a bid. If you can introduce yourself and let us know where you'll be interning.
Hi everyone, my name is Avid Khan. So I was the previous president of Ascend, and I'm currently a grad student doing my Master's of Science in Accounting. I previously, this past summer, have completed my internship with KPMG. I was one of the first applicants to participate in their virtual internship experience. And previous to that, I've also interned at the Queens College Foundation, which is a not-for-profit on our campus. So those are the 2 places where I've interned at in the past. So I'm not sure if I'll be doing any more internships because KPMG has luckily offered me a position to start as an associate in their state and local tax department. So I'm looking forward to that. As I mentioned, this is my final semester for my grad school. So once I'm done with that, I'll probably think about studying for the CPA. But some things I would like to add on is just that I had absolutely like no networking skills. I really didn't really care about it or think about it because the way I was brought up, I only thought about my grades, and I thought, oh, if you have good grades, you'll get a job, which obviously is not true at all. But through Ascend and through networking with my professors and just growing my network in general with other students, that's how I was able to get references to get the internship at KPMG, to get the internship at QCF, and so on and so forth. So yeah.
And lastly, let's hear from Jean. Can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what your internship looks like?
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm an accounting major. I'm a senior. I'm also a computer science minor, and I've had 2 internships so far, and I'm going on to my 3rd this summer. So my previous internships involved in investments and at a boutique finance firm for pharmaceutical companies. And my current internship is at TIQC, the tech incubator. I'm working with a specific team on implementing what's called an ERP system, which stands for Enterprise Resource Planning for small companies. And I'm also working on building a website for the Transfer Honors Program. I'm doing that with someone else on the team. So I'm working on 2 projects. And this summer, I'm going to be working for RSM in their audit division. And for all this internships that I've gotten, yes, they all require networking. They all required me to ask around what's available, pay attention to my emails, sign up for things, sign up for leadership positions. They required me to talk to friends in my classes or maybe just acquaintances and ask them about like, hey, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing this summer? And my biggest recommendation to everyone on today is keep looking, keep applying, and make sure you put yourself out there as much as possible. You know, if you're going to get an internship, you know, why not have choices, right? Go all out when you have free time and apply so you can choose between different things.
What role, if any, did network play in acquiring your internships? And
I feel strongly about networking. I don't believe I would have gone my internship without networking. I actually treated my networking as a part-time job last semester. Most of my time was in academics and also in networking through LinkedIn, through social events, professional events. And don't be afraid to, you know, contact people you don't know, especially alumni from Queens College. We all have the same background. We all went to the same school. So I know for sure they're like 100% willing to help.
Right. And just to build on the things that Armando said, I think it's also important to talk to your professors, like maybe go to their office hours, participate in class, even though I know like that can be scary or not really fun virtually. But like to emphasize that point, last summer when everything fell through because of COVID, the only way I was able to get an internship was because my professors knew me and they recommended me for a position. So networking is very important. And I hope you guys take that away from this panel, even though I kind of don't like the fact that networking is so important, but it really is.
If I can add on to what she said, I feel the same way about networking. It's unfortunate that it is a requirement for a lot of positions that you may want to. You know, we were taught in high school that as long as you work hard, you know, keep your head down and do your work, you're going to get a reward for that. But unfortunately, the world never worked out that way for any of us. So we've had to put ourselves out there, and that's why you see us talk about like things we participate in, because that's something that goes on our resume, or that's something that someone else can see and notice us, and then we can start a conversation.
One thing I do want to add on to that though is when you do go networking with people, don't go in with the intent of I want to get an internship or a job off of this. So, you know, think about it more as you're getting to meet somebody, you're going to get to know them, their background, maybe what it's like if the conversation goes that way, how their workplace is, things like that. And as Armando mentioned, it's not going to happen with you just networking with one or a few people. It's definitely going to take a few tries, a couple more than that. So just, you know, be persistent about it and go at it as in you're trying to get to know somebody. And wherever the conversation leads, that's where it goes. If they like you, because you got to remember too, most of us don't have any experience. So this networking, it's the first impression for us. So when they see you and they like you, they see that you care, you listen properly, you know, you're interested to learn. Those are the things that are the deciding factor on whether they refer you or whether they want you for a position or an internship.
And I'll add on something like always check on Hire QC because all the networking events and opening internship, they put it there. So you should always keep checking there. Otherwise, like how would I when I was there, how would I know like which one is going on? So I always keep checking Hire QC. So do that.
Okay, thank you everyone. That's great. And there's so much in there that I think is really valuable. I'm gonna ask a question that kind of moves us in a different direction. So for the panelists, thinking about the internship that you are currently in or that you have coming up, how does this internship influence your outlook on the future?
For me, I'm working with kids, and I feel like when you're when you're doing something that you're not sure of, it's very important to try to get as much experience in that type of field that you can get. And for me, working in a school and working with kids, working with having to co-teach and having to work with other people, I feel like this internship actually helped me see that I do want to work with kids, that I do want to be in this type of environment. So I definitely feel that when you're looking at an internship or looking to be in, like, let's say a certain field or a certain job, that it's okay if you're not 100% sure going into it, because that's the point of an internship. It's to actually gain that experience to see, is this something that I actually want to go into? And for me, it is something that I want to go into. So that's something I'm very appreciative for, where I'm placed.
What Stacy is also saying, and I'm not sure if you guys got that, was that the internship itself isn't like a full-time career job. You can make mistakes. You can use your internship to learn. My previous internships, I would say, were very relaxed. Not like, like just come in whenever you want, but more like you're not there to do the full-time work. You're there to just learn most of the time and absorb as much as you can. So it is okay if you're scared of your first internship. If you think there's a high expectations, I'm here to tell you that there's really not that much of a high expectations during your first few internships. You should still treat it seriously, but try not to be afraid of the stigma that just because you got your first internship, you need to perform at a very high level. Let's relax here. It's your first time, and no one's going to expect too much of you your first time.
Adding something else onto that. So, I mean, in terms of looking to the future from the internship that I have had or will have in the future, I mean, it just makes me feel like, things are better than I expected them to be, because previously I did apply to a lot of internship positions as well as jobs after graduating from undergrad, and it didn't go well. I applied to like maybe 50 places or more, and it was like I never heard anything back, or I got rejections. And obviously that's pretty hard to take, but eventually you start to understand that you just got to keep going and it will get better. But adding on to that, like something that I've been hearing that's coming up here is like, if it's your first internship or second or third, it really doesn't matter so much as you may think, because as much as they're seeing you and trying you out, because essentially they're trying you out in your firm or whatever company or job, whatever you're doing, they're checking you out. But at the same time, you're checking them out. You're seeing whether you like to be there, whether you like that environment, whether you can actually like play a good role there. Because I don't know about all the other majors who are here, but for accounting students, a lot of the times what I've heard is they don't, when they're asked which would you rather go into, like tax, audit, consulting, all of these options, they're like, I don't know. I've never had the internship. I've never had the job. So I have no idea. So if that's the case, obviously you're going to go in, pick one, you try it out. You're not going to say, this has to be it because they're asking me. You go there, you try it out. If you like it, go for it. If you don't like it, as Sumaya mentioned before, she switched over to something else because she didn't like tax at BDO. You can do that as well. It's options.
As all of our panelists have sort of touched based on, it seems like this internship really is a learning experience, learning whether you're not meant to do something or you find out you really are meant to do something. And I guess I just wanted to ask, is there anything you guys wish you would have done differently?
I'll take this one first. Yeah, so as being a grad student in my last semester and, finally doing the internship with KPMG and getting a job, getting involved with the club is important. Getting involved with, other organizations, both in school and outside of school, is important.
Yeah, I definitely second all of that. Something that I would have done differently is visited the Career Center sooner, because I feel like I only got involved in the Career Center maybe last year, but they help so much with even things that you don't think would be related to careers, like imposter syndrome. So like they help build up your confidence by like helping you with your resume, cover letters, finding jobs, but also like your self-confidence.
I would say that to answer the question, one of the things that I definitely regret is the time it took me to start looking at internships, which wasn't actually until my junior year. I spent 2 years in college doing nothing but, like Abid said, like just going to school and doing good grades. And then it wasn't until my last two, and now I'm like here, right? But it's possible. It's definitely possible. Just anytime you're ready, start.
Yeah, I'd like to add on to what everyone just said. there's certainly several regrets I have. I say, the number one thing is just don't be discouraged because there's going to be a lot of rejections, and that's just a facet of life in so many ways. And sort of dealing with those rejections and not taking it in a way to be like taking taking it personally is a huge thing. Um, and sort of just moving on to the next opportunity, keep going and keep applying because I let that happen to me.
Thank you. I think yeah, again, there's so much that has been so valuable from the panelists already, but I just want to open up the net and see if there are any other advice or tips that you have for students who are engaging in an internship search right now. And I'm going to add as well, particularly in the online environment, because I've seen some questions in the chat about that as well. So if anyone has any other tips, advice for any of the students on the call right now who are searching for an internship.
So I'm going to just quickly put in another plug. The Center for Career Engagement is here. All of your colleagues are here. They've all offered their help and their advice. This is how we will raise our community to new heights. And I expect that, we will see you all very, very soon in some capacity. I want to thank my panelists for being here with us today. Thank them for their time. Many of them are, juggling multiple responsibilities, and they carve the time out of their day to, be able to share with you all of these really insightful moments and things that they've learned along the course of their journey. I want to thank my moderators who did a phenomenal job today because I did very little, and that makes me so excited. I have to do this more often. This is exactly how it should work. So this is the beginning, I hope, for everyone who's here today. I think this is the beginning of maybe making connections, of maybe stepping outside of your comfort zone, of maybe reconnecting as a mentor, hint, hint to my panelists in the mentoring community. So for lots of reasons, I think we are here, and I hope that people have lots of takeaways from this opportunity and from this experience. And thank you all once again.